normally 8.
So I guess we just talk off the rip. I'm not going to mute myself. I would usually stay muted, and let me get the chop. I heard myself talking in the background, so it's fine. And I'm at the helm this evening. Good evening, Chet, and hello, Adam.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, look, it's
Adam's
the
happy
big
just
boy
because I'm here.
I am. Well, no, it's not even that. Last week, you know what I went through last week with the lobby and crap like that, and it really. I'm not enthusiastic when I'm on comms as it is, and things like that happen, and then constant safety cars. I get very, very bored very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, nothing against these up.
Adam's voice is very quiet, they're saying. Right, wait, I can fix that. I can fix it. I can turn you up in the party.
Oh, fair.
This should be better now, I would think.
How about now?
Rob, I see your Facebook, so just write on Facebook again if we're good. Thank you. Right. Good luck, boys. It is P0, round 5, Miami this evening, just getting into qualifying as we speak, and Rob has so kindly sent me the driver standings. Local last leading the way on 68 points. But, oh geez, I didn't even realise it was so close. So we've got Local last P1 68, Matty P2 64, Leon P3 62, Rob P4 on 61, Arwin P5 on 60. Then we've got a bit of a gap to that midfield battle. It's Scarman and K-Pax tied up in 48. Then we've got Passmaster on 47, Chubby Slug on 44, Elliot on 43. Shiv on 37, at Pedro on 36. That's the kind of midfield pack. Michelando sitting in a bit of his own zone at the moment on 26, and it falls back again to Dale's Hunter Dale Shooter. Is that what it is? 11.
Yeah, Dale Shooter. That's what I got anyway.
Jack North on 8. The two Haas boys tied up on 6. Jamie and Finn. Passmaster is now Spaghetti. Okay, thank you, job. Oh, we'll literally have Spaghetti Carbonana. Oh, it's a Carbonana.
This guy's got to stay. He can never stop league racing. He changes his name every week. That's fantastic.
EOJ at the bottom there on 2 points. What about, did Rob send me Constructors Championship?
Constructors
No.
is as tight as ever. I've got it. Alpine are in first with 132. Alfa Romeo P2 with 122. McLaren P3 with 98. Mercedes 4th with 91. AlphaTauri 5th with 80. Aston Martin 6th with 74. Williams 7th with 47. Haas in 8th on 12. Red Bull 9th on 11. And Ferrari in 10th on 10. And can I just make a note how Rob has shithoused every single result every week, because he's been terrible, and yet he's still sitting 4th in the standings.
So, 1 second, Adam. I'm going to have to fling an extra couple of viewers on. My boys want to watch from the bedroom.
Yeah, fair. Yes, we got the boys.
Construction of the circuit cost approximately $400 million and required 1,700 construction workers to complete it.
So, we are sorted. Apologies there, Adam. I do apologise, but Mason was in a must-watch situation. Oh, and I've got cars blowing my brains off. Right, wait, I need to do some audio adjustments there. That is very, very loud. Sorry, chat, excuse the changing. That's a bit better. So, what drivers do we have where? Owen Evans on a lap. He is coming out of Sector 1, heading down towards the second DRS zone. Big old back straight, we'll go on board. One of our more competitive drivers this season, so here we're looking to get a decent competitive time on the board ASAP, and then build from that over the next couple of laps. Down into the little tricky section of the track, back end of sector, or the start of Sector 3. You've got to be so tentative here as well. The rear of the car always trying to break away, then tuck it in nicely, get it up and over the curbs. You'll find a lot of lap time if you find the sweet spot over there. Then on the power as much as you can onto the back straight. You've got to carry that speed. DRS open, and it's all now about sighting your braking point for that third to last corner. It's essentially the last corner though, because you take the last two flat out. So last big braking zone of the day. Find your braking about 120 metres, get it tucked up nicely to the apex, let the car run wide, use all the track, and he picks up an invalidation. He's going to have to go into the pits from there, and that is the only thing about that the nature of that corner. As you open the steering, it can become a little bit tentative with understeer, especially with the front tyres being so hot. So I want to try and find a driver that's maybe just starting a lap. An Aston Martin. Here we go. Oh, Mika Lando's actually just banking a lap, so we'll see where he goes. He goes on to provisional post and 28.9. Leon Evans, the other Evans brother, DRS open, and he goes to a 28.8. Oh, just takes that provisional pole by 1/1000th of a second. So K-Pack, Sector 1. It's letting the car drift wide. Pick up the throttle and then you're absolutely flat out. You just want to take the path of least resistance as you thread the car through this little S section. It's totally flat out. Sight your braking for the hairpin to come. Use all the track on the outside. Then get it in nicely to the apex, let the steering open up. Then you get this long right hander, easy on the throttle, let the car drift out wide now, tuck it in, up over the curb, hit the next curb. Can unsettle the car very easy, then you just got to be careful, pick up the throttle nicely. And he's done not too bad there. He's going to get a little distant toe from the car ahead as well, although that car I think is going to open a lap, so it is off. So maybe not as much as I thought he would. Picks his braking, he's a bit later than his brother, managed to push it down to about 110 metres there. He does not invalidate the lap. So where is K-Pax? Sorry, we're on board with K-Pax. Where is he going to go? He goes into a 29.3 slot, sitting just behind EOJ.
Apparently I muted myself.
Oh, and Chubby Slug has just got a 5-place grid penalty for contact with Shiv.
Arwin just broke his wing on an outlap.
Is Shiv? I don't know what's happened there. I'm not 100% sure. What's happened?
Never always be sure.
So Shiv, I don't think he's on a lap here. No, he's coming into the pits. So I'm not 100% sure. So let's go to Arwin. He's coming up to the back
He broke
straight.
his wing, Chris.
Oh.
He broke it on his coming out at some point. He broke it.
Well, spaghetti carbonara it is.
I will say though, I looked at sector times, and I'm pretty sure that Arwin's second sector time was a second quicker than his brother Leon's.
Wow. And Rob Wills there, 28.3, but it's half a second on that pole time. Spaghetti carbonara looking nice through the first sector.
What a name.
Tucks it in nicely. Fast S's. Look at the understeering. He's got no front end in this, so I don't think his front tyres have been ready there. Or he's just broke a little bit late.
Lucas, I just took pole 128.297.
Oh, so the times are falling pretty rapidly. Mate is also coming up to the final hairpin as well, and he's Alpine. So we'll see quickly where he is going to put the car, and then we can come back to Mr. That's not going to get old saying that either, at all.
It's not, it definitely isn't.
And Mate up into the top 3. I don't think Matty would mind me saying qualifying is probably not as strong as his race.
He's
So I think
done
he'd be
well
quite
on
happy to
Sundays.
see himself up there.
He's done well. Obviously, the table says he's done well on Sundays.
That's just true.
Baku was Baku for most of the drivers here. We'll try and
Yeah,
forget
it's
about
a
that.
horrible track. So where's Scar Banana? Let's get back to him. He's just come off the last corner.
I think he's looking at a 29 or a 30 here.
29.7.
So Arwin is back out and out lap.
I think a couple of drivers had some bad corners though. I think if everybody can hook a lap up, it would be pretty close. Hooking a lap up at Miami is easier said than done.
L is on an out lap. He's going to start a lap very shortly. He will be up there.
And the Mercedes, the 71 car.
Yes, 71.
Just your age.
Hey, I'm a little bit younger. Not much.
Okay, 69.
A little bit. That's better. What a number.
So let's go on board with EL and see where he is going to go.
That Mercedes with K-Back was nicely out of the way of his teammate then.
And L has looked lovely through that first sector. I've took the screen at the side of the track. He's purple sector 1, 3.5 tenths up. So he's finding some time.
I think he'll be in and about P1. I think he'll be in the top 4. Check on Arwin while you're on board with L.
On his very L was tremendous. He took that chicane, the Mickey Mouse chicane, on just before going under the bridge perfectly. Got the curb over the middle of the car, never let it upset his momentum at all or upset the rear of the car. So he's got a clean run now. Our car is drifting across, he's going to get out of the way. So he's just got to find one more braking zone. And I think L is on for a pretty good lap here. Tucks it up beautifully to the apex.
P2, 128.3.
So it is hotting up, but I think we're about to see a 27 banked. Oh, he doesn't quite. He goes to a 28.4. Finds 7 tenths of a second. He slots himself into P4.
Into the start of sector 3.
Where is Mr. Alvin Evans? Is Leon Evans now goes to a 28.281. Takes it by 1/100th of a second off of Lucalas. Where is Arwin? Oh, he's right at the back.
Straight. Yeah, I think we're going to see pole here. Oh, nearly. That was absolutely on the limit of what it could have been. And it is a 28.3. Look how close it is between the top 6. There's a 10th between 6 drivers. So let's see.
That's second runs down. So we'll have a bit of quiet before the storm. I think most drivers now in this coming up this back straight are all in out laps or in laps. Not Pedro's on a hot lap. Oh no, this is Chubby Slug, sorry.
Well, Chubby's up ever so slightly. We've got to remember Chubby has a 5-place grip penalty.
Oh yeah. That says you're really quiet again. I think you might need to turn your headset up a bit, Adam.
Cocky.
Yeah, so I think that is just a blast of drivers heading into the pits. Is EOJ on a lap here? EOJ might be on a lap.
He's down on his time.
So maybe getting into the pits then.
Yeah, maybe.
So it is the calm before the storm.
Spaghetti carbonara's coming out.
Now,
it's going to make me chuckle.
He's kind of out of sync with the rest of the grid here in terms of lap. And what he's got to be careful of is sector 1 traffic.
Yes.
And I'm just looking at the times. He's going to have to do 2 really quick laps. See, I don't think he gets another run. This is it for Carl Banana. I think this is his only run. He's going to be 3 minutes to do 2 laps. Yep. Nah, he'd be 3 minutes to do an out lap and an in lap, leaving 2 minutes on the clock. By the time you get serviced in the pits, he's not getting out in time.
No, this is
I don't
his run.
think.
This is it. Not many people are coming out, so he could be good through section 1. I'm looking at the map. We've got 2 that have just come out. 1 more coming out now.
So that Alpha Tauri, who beat Pedro, I think he's going to do well to get himself out of the way. Oh, Pedro needs to move. He's got a fast car approaching. Nah, he's timed that just nicely, actually. Just nicely indeed. So, Carl Banana gets a clean run through Sector 1. 6.5 tenths up. So, first sector, he's already put himself up positions.
Finnegan has retired on track, maybe?
Nah, it's just Pedro going slowly, causing a yellow flag.
What a donkey.
Silly Pedro.
I hate that little...
It's horrible. Horrible. If you don't get the
7 tenths for
the balance.
Carl Banana is up now, so 28.9 at the moment, so he's looking at P9, P10, P11.
I reckon he's got time in this last sector as well. I think he's going to get close to somewhere in the P7, P8 mark here. Oh! That wobble may just have cost him a little bit. P8.
P8, not bad. So Leon is back out on an out lap.
So this is the start of the last runs coming up. So, I mean, looking at the times at the moment, there is no one clear-cut favourite for pole here. It's any of 6, really.
I'm going with Arwin still. I think if he gets his lapping right, I think he takes pole. I think he's got it.
And I tell you, if it stays this close, we're in for a tasty little race.
I mean, this has got to be Mika's best.
Skarma.
Ooh.
On to provisional pole. He takes the early scalp, putting the pressure on the drivers.
That's got to be an illegal lap. I'm sorry, I need to check the weight of the car. Can't believe
So he's put a 10th on Leon Evans. So we'll stay with Leon as the first of the men to start the final run. Oh wait, they're right, I might actually be some out. Yep, Pedro's actually on his last run. Coming down the back straight, 10th and a half up. That 10th and a half, if he can find another bit through the last couple of corners, he would find a chunk of positions.
Man's lucky if he can find his brain, he ain't finding any more time.
Oh, and he lost time in the last sector.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Half a 10th up Leon.
Yep. Just got on board with them now, so I'm trying to figure out who's the next driver on track on the lap.
Right, so Leon is there. So McLaren, an Aston, and an Alpine. So McLaren, then an Alpine, and then a Mercedes.
So that's Shiv on his lap.
And then
Shiv half a tenth down.
Lucas Aid 2.5 tenths up. Coming into
Leon
the end of
Evans.
sector 2.
Leon Evans round in the last corner. So this is it for Leon. He has to put the pressure on. Can he dislodge Skarma for provisional pole? And he can. He loses 2 tenths. Pedro gets disqualified for the session for parking a dangerous location, but I think that was him purely getting out of the way of the traffic coming through.
Lucas Aid is half a tenth up now. Oh, Arwin has completely ballsed his lap up.
So that half a tenth, it would still give him the front row of the grid. Has he got any time?
Up?
And he does, he gets to that second row.
Matty is down 3 tenths.
So where is Rob? Checker flag falls in the session. It's over for L, for Mika, for Lukolas. But Rob Wills, oh, he has a bit of the rear of the car, really tried to swing around on him there. Who is that just ahead as well? It's an Alpine. It could be Matty on a lap. He's 4.5 tenths down,
Matty's
so
down, yeah. Rob's just under half a tenth up still.
which is, as I say, still good for 2 positions right now. You know, that puts him onto the second row and up to P4. He'd get ahead of Arden, which I think he'd be very happy with. Into the braking zone he goes. He was very nice at the apex there. Picks up the throttle nice. Clean open of the steering. I think Rob is going to get that bit of time he has. And oh, he just... So driver's really struggling in that last sector. EOJ into the pits, and I think that's it for qualifying. Leon Evans into the pits. He's out of fuel. And Skarma, the shock of the day, takes pole in Miami.
I mean, Paul, if we can have your car to the garage so we can check weight and everything like that.
And an RDT on him.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There's something fishy going on there.
So Paul, Lukolas, P2, Leon 3, Arwin 4, Rob 5, Mika 6, LP7, EOJ P8, Dale P9 and Spaghetti Carbonara rounds out the top 10. We'll let AI do a bit of racing. So there is final confirmation. Skarma P1, Lukolas P2, Leon 3, Arwin 4, Rob 5, Mika 6, L and P7, EOJ P9, EOJ P8, Dale P9, Spaghetti Carbonara P10, then Martin 11, Shiv P12, K-Pax 13, Chubby Slug in P14, and then I think it is Finnegan, and then Pedro. Yes, it's Pedro getting disqualified, but again, bit of an unfair one there, just getting out of the way of the traffic coming through.
I mean, we say unfair.
But it doesn't matter, because he was at the back anyway.
Skill issue.
But there you see just how competitive it was. 2 tenths in the end, sort of separating the top 7, and half a second only between the top 10. It's going to be a close old race, and I think it is anyone's.
I can tell you it's not, Chris. It's not mine or yours.
Well, it might be.
What, you going to just jump out of the comms box? I like it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'll commentate and drive.
Yeah. Challenge you to do that one week.
Commentate and drive.
Mm-hmm.
That would be... Well, that'd be fine anyway, because I'd be retired by lap 3 and able to spectate, fine. Just like a normal week of comms.
Yeah.
Oh, you've just muted yourself, sir. Hello?
Have I muted myself?
No, you're fixed now. You're fixed. You'd
Okay.
done the thing where it was coming through your controller.
God, that fucking thing. Excuse my language, my bad. Well, I'm going to quickly nip off now. Hopefully I'll be back as quick as possible.
Yes, no problem, sir.
I'm not going
I
to
will speak to you very soon. No.
Yes, I will mute my controller in case somebody tries to be a donkey.
Yeah, I would put it out of reach of Spencer just in case as well.
Yes.
In case he puts it on a pad mic and then it's all a mess for minutes.
Oh, that would be bloody hilarious, wouldn't it?
I think I would cry.
No. Oh, pardon me. Right, I will be back.
Speak soon, sir. So I have grabbed the restroom chat and we are ready to go, just about. Just waiting on that timer at the top of the screen. Just reply to my partner or she will physically stab me. Don't take that literally, I'm watching, she wouldn't actually do that. So, we're just waiting on, let's actually go have a peek. Do you get to see the race director? Do you see what I see here? Yeah, surely as well. So, oh, a nice open. Oh, we're on the formation lap, so there we go. I can just do this. Let's get the tyres up on the screen and a very mixed grid. 3 mediums on the top 3, then it's 3 hards, 2 mediums, 1 hard, 2 softs, 3 mediums, and then 2 hards. So, a varied strategy. One I will say is the soft tyre is questionable. It can be of an advantage in the opening few laps, but by the time you've used the advantage, you'll be out of energy, so you've got to be careful. But maybe Matty and Spaghetti Carbonara pursue a safety car, which then would play right into their hands. Could put a hard tyre on, which goes very far, and yeah, possibly get themselves to the end of the race. But medium hard is most definitely the optimal strategy. Undercut being very powerful, so watch the medium guys get out ahead. Once the hard guys overlap, they'll probably, once they go into the medium tyre, bar any incidents, they'll probably be looking to recover about a 10-second deficit. So it could be spicy near the end of the race if it plays out just through strategy. And of course, if safety cars come, then, well, it could be a bit mental. So, Skarma bringing the pack up. They're all weaving, putting a lot of tyre wear in their tyres, but not generating any temperature. And up to the grid they go. So let's get it to position change. That's a good one to be on. Skarma takes up his grid slot. We'll flick to the back and Chubby Slug, and then we will get ready for lights out. Arvin Evans picks up a disqualification for not parking in his grid spot correctly, so he'll be set back 2 feet. Odd tail Chubby Slug gets in, and we will watch on from Skarma as we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the P0 Miami Grand Prix is away. Who's going to get the better start? I think it could have been Skarma. Lukolas is just going to try and tuck in behind. We'll watch over the rear wing as we clamber into turn 1. There's a bit of contact. A Ferrari hits an Aston Martin there, and that Constantine is into the McLaren, but I think everybody's been able to filter through. I'm not quite sure who the Ferrari was. I think it could have been EOJ that made a little bit of contact in the rear. He pulled out quite abruptly. Maybe missed his braking zone, but now they filter through the S's in the first section, and we see this gaggle of cars really starting to get held up between each other. Who's the big gainers at the start and the end? And I think there's been an incident further down the order. Finnegan and Shiv both round VSC out. Drivers got to reduce their pace to a safe speed. Do not go above the delta. And wait for the green flags. So Skarma gets a 1.2 second lead. But it's really hard to tell what the actual gaps are at the moment, because it is VSC. So what drivers need to not do here is get baited into using all their energy. You need the energy here to make overtakes work, and if you don't have it, you're not going to get overtakes done. So that's going to be something to watch as the race transpires, just who can be mostly efficient as we see. Oh, we get in the back there, scary Spaghetti Carbonara nearly absolutely obliterates the back of K-Pax's Mercedes. A bit of checking up there as people just do some warming under the VSC. We're back to Glen Flag Racing. Matty, by the way, is our biggest gainer as Skarma sets a tremendous lap, fastest lap by 44.8, of course. That is not true to the pace of their driving because there was a VSC in opening lap. So the gap was 0.8 of a second. I didn't think Skarma broke the DRS that early. It was way too early in the lap. And now the full grid sits in the train, filtering through Sector 1 for the first time. So that's a VSC in the early laps is probably best case scenario. You nullify all the side-by-side nonsense, and you just get everybody now, they've got to focus on their race in one car and one car only. So we'll see here, Matty starting to drop off. That's that soft tyre. It's not as good as it may be in other circuits, but he will gain that time back here. He does appear to be running a decent amount of low drag. So he does get himself back within the DRS. That's dropped Mika Lando off. So Mika Lando may be the split here that forms the midfield train. And this tends to be the way, and it's not just P0, it's every league race. You tend to have two packs that split open. And you have kind of a front of field battle and a rear of field battle. And Skarma eating through that energy. Lukolas is doing a very, very good job of management. Still in 90% energy, and he's only lapping a tenth slower than Slammer. So, but the thing is, Lukolas needs to be careful because he is under pressure. Rob Wills is hard tyre. I think he's starting to do bits. So, on board with the McLaren man, nothing much happening there. Let's see if we see anything in the DRS. Are we going to see any moves take place? Nothing at the moment. Lukolas is bringing Skarma in though. Nicely over the curbs. See Rob Wills all over the back of Leon Evans as well. And we may see some battles start to form any moment. As I think, where are we watching here? Alvin Evans may come under attack here from Mika Lando. So let's go with the Aston Martin man, although Mika Lando has absolutely no energy. He's going to have to lob it round the long way. We'll watch this from off board, although it's given us a really bad camera angle. And we'll see here, and a Ferrari has just marshalled away through in the inside line, and Mika Lando ends up losing out. Matty setting the fastest lap of the race, so his pace is good, and he is absolutely on this fight. Oh, and he has a moment there, and that's because that was lift-off oversteer that happened there. He had to back out it in the middle of the corner because he came fully off throttle. Differential, just the off throttle diffs. Not enjoyed that at all, and he's locked the rear axle up rather than the brakes, and it's just fishtailed the car. Finnegan now with the fastest lap of the race, 31.4. And this battle continues on. Rob Wills all over the back here of Leon Evans. He's actually, Rob Wills should go through here, no problem at all. DRS open, and hard tyre working nicely for the McLaren man. Leon Evans is going to defend that inside line, just keep L at bay. And L needs to be aware because he has a fast approaching soft tiled Matty. Matty's probably got 2 or 3 laps left of good grip, and then that'll start to fall off. So he's just got to keep himself in this pocket. If he can use the DRS to help the wear out a bit and drag the tyre out to like lap 10, he may be able to bolt a hard on and go to the end. And then in that case, his strategy would have worked out well because the soft gained him 5 positions off the start. Mika Lando, see, and we're starting to see here what happens when you run out of energy. That gap naturally just opens as the leaders lap at a much more significant pace. So Lukolas has a double the energy advantage on Skarma. Skarma, of course, though, has a 2-second track advantage. So even if Lukolas uses up the energy reserve he has to Skarma, I don't think that gets him back in DRS. Skarma's just lapping pretty consistently at the moment. He's not lapping rapid, he's fast, but he's consistent. That's the main thing. He's always within a tenth or two every sector. If you can keep that consistency up, you're always going to be strong. So further down, Rob Wills and Lukola side by side as we head through the King. Although I think Rob Wills' tyre will make him have to slot back in behind there. He'll wait for the next DRS zone. And they'll just get the off-boards are giving us some horrible camera angles. So Rob Wills is getting on the energy. He neutralises the acceleration deficit that Lukolas got. And now DRS and the toe. No energy usage there, as you see. Just good old DRS and slipstream. He's going to slot it nicely down the inside. Leaves Alpine space in the exit, but gets that job done. Now, will Lukolas come back at him? That's the question. Is he going to use the energy up, or is he happy to go with the hard tyre space? He is going to try and maybe think about it down the inside. Rob Wills will leave that door open on the inside line. I think the hard tyre now just... That better than others as Rob's touched that inside cubby, has a big tank slapper and somehow keeps that McLaren out the wall. But that's going to give Leon Evans the opportunity to get that Alfa Romeo all up beside, and now we've got El getting involved as well. So the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes are going to be side by side at the end of sector 1. I think El's going to get out of that and try and focus on a better exit, which he has managed to get. He'll switch to the inside line, and Alban Evans has got to be careful, he's coming through. And now it's going to be a DRS race down this straight. Both of them will open the flap. They're still side by side. And I think El's just going to use a bit of energy to pull away there. And he'll make sure he gets in front. Rob Wills has a look at Lukolas ahead, but does not get through this time. So Lukolas looking good at the moment. But Rob Wills, remember, he's only 3.6 seconds off the lead. And he is on the hard compound tyre. Yellow flag, sector 2, I'm not sure what that is. Don't see anybody losing out much. Chubby Slug up 6 positions, he's going to be a man to watch. How's the energy getting on? He's on 30%. He is under attack though. Pedro's got himself up to P12 and then he's sitting in a bit of no man's land. We've got Dale up 1. Matty lost a position now to one of the Alfa Romeos, but his soft tyre, as I said, really will be starting to struggle now. So we'll be hoping for a safety car who could take it on, and now we've got I think that was Ellen Lukolas doing some more side by side. Yes, it is. They're going to be side by side all the way through the twists and turns of sector 1. Come on, camera, who's going to get the better of this? They're still side by side, and eventually the Mercedes needs to slot in behind. Lukolas gets the better of him, but I think that's the smart play because Lukolas is now out the DRS range of Rob and is going to come under tremendous pressure on this back straight. And there is Leon Evans coming for some as well. It's going to be another DRS drag race, and look how much they're closing in the Alpine. Is there going to be a late send here from one or the other? Oh, there's nearly contact between Alfa Romeo, misses brakes. That's going to give El the opportunity he needs in the Mercedes to get through. And now, will there be any team orders between the Alfa Romeo boys? Is Alwyn feeling faster at the moment? He is, of course, on the split strategy. Oh, and he picks up a time penalty, so probably need to release him then. Try and let him do some work on that hard compound tyre. But the Evans brothers, they do like to do some racing, so I think that one will just continue on. Matty doing well to keep himself in that top 7's DRS and just get pulled along. Dale Souter's keeping himself there as well. But Skarma, all alone, out in front, doing a good job. Still 40% energy, which is pretty reasonable. Ideally, you want to be using about 20% every 8 laps, 25% here. So just a couple of blasts on exits. But he will gain around 28% in the pits, so he'll get that back up to 70 and then he can manage it well off to the end of the race. Just thought I'd best give him a little bit of screen time. But I'm afraid, Skarma, there's just not much been happening at the front of the grid. You're out and you're lonesome, and Rob, Lukolas, El, Leon, Arwin, Matty, in fact, they're all just having a good old tussle for this last podium spot, and it's all been clean and decent racing as well, which has been really nice to see. Oh, and Arvin, is he struggling with the rear tyres here? Is that sitting in the dirty air? It can affect the temperatures a bit. So, this is what I'm interested in. When do we see the crossover come in? Skarma is still maintaining the same gap, so I think both tyres are lapping very similar now. It's just how long can Skarma maintain that? Now we have L hunting down Lukolas for that final place on the podium. Both on a medium tyre. I was just double checking there, I wasn't sure, but Lukolas was on for a second. I thought he may have been the other hard runner, but I think the nearest hard runner to Rob is Albin and then Chubby Slug. And Pedro's just got himself through on the pits. And here we go, K-Pax all over the back of Chubby Slug in Sector 1. So further up, El and Lukolas, they've kind of dispersed into their own battle, the two brothers, and I think that there is a release for the hard tyre. Leon Evans letting his brother go through. And now let's see if he can hassle the Mercedes and Alpine. A third of the way into the race already, been a quick 9 laps. Spaghetti Carbonara. Well, he was 3 times, but I think K-Pax has been able to pull away. So here we go, El and Lukolas doing a little bit of racing. Oh, a bit of squeeze in there from the Mercedes. But Lukolas is coming straight back for something. He says you can have it at the hairpin, because I'm coming back through at turn 1. Although El is going to defend it nicely, places his car in the right position, does well in that outside line at 1. Oh, and Lukolas is, oh, he was dealing with some oversteer there all the way through the corner. That was some tremendous car control. You've seen him feathering that steering, just balancing the slide until it settled back down. So on to this back straight. He's in the DRS range. Can he shut L down? He's got a 20% advantage in the energy. Doesn't look massively keen in burning it up at the moment. So I thought that battle was going to come to something between K-Pax and Chubby Slug, but not quite. So let's go back on board with the Lukolas L fight. Oh, and Lukolas, so I'll be seeing the tail end now of what the medium tyre is going to do. Maybe laps, pit stops incoming in the next 2 to 3 laps, I would think, for the medium compounds. You'll be looking to do about 15, 16 on the hards. But if people's wear is holding out, that's the thing. It's unpredictable sometimes where people can just do much better. Somebody like Rob might be able to see that tyre all the way to a soft. He is going to take the lead. It'll be interesting to see when Skarma boxes. So, where is the battles? This is it. Oh no, K-Pax Chubby Slug's still going. Oh, and I'm going to go to this because there's a overtake coming here. Oh, not never quite get coconut, so let me jump back to that. I thought K-Pax was going to try and get through and Chubby Slugger. We've got a yellow flag. Oh, and who spun? We've had to spin out Armin Evans. He's round. He needs to not hit the wall. What's happened there? And he's going into the pit, so a strategy change. He's picked up some wing damage. He's going to have to go to the medium tyre. Or maybe a soft and hope for a safety car. So, well, look, let's go for a run. Who was that? The Haas in the fastest lap of the race there. Who was that? I think it might have been Finnegan, actually. Yes, it was. Only Haas on the grid. I just seen the purple. I never noticed the name. So Lukolas now, I think, can't really do much with the tyre because there is not much of the tyre left. So let's check our race leader. He's coming down to the hairpin. Is he going to pit this lap? It's either going to be this or next, I would imagine. I don't see it being many more than that. And he's continuing on, so maybe in next lap round. And then it's almost a split strap between the mediums and the hard zone. And if Skarma can take the medium to 14, Rob can take the hard probably to about 19. Could they go hard to soft? Matty took the soft tyre 11 laps at the start of the race, or 10 laps. Keep him lighter fuel so he'd do it much more comfortably. So Pedro's starting to gain positions, but what you've got to bear in mind is here is Pedro is one of the lead non-stoppers. Most of the guys behind, in fact, we'll have a look, have took a pit stop. Every driver behind has took a pit stop, actually. So our lead 7 are all of the non-stoppers. Those on a longer stint. Skarma's got enough in hand to do this against the medium runners. He had a healthy enough gap to have a lap or two to work with if they undercut. But Skarma won't want to stay out too much longer because his track position will come under threat. So Skarma has emptied the tank. I think that is a clear indication that someone is on their way to the pits. Yes, he is. So leader in. He has controlled the first 13 laps of the race. He's going to be fed out into a little bit of traffic. How does he respond to this? I think he is going to be clear of the other cars, although there is two. We've got Ellen Matty just coming into the hairpin at the moment. Nah, I think Skarma's well safe here. So only drops to P4. And out of the pits he goes. He actually gets fed out just ahead of Pedro on his hard compound tyre. Needs to be careful, the tyre will be cold. It's a tricky sector on cold rubber. But by God, is Paul in a good position now. He's got very little traffic. In fact, he'll have no traffic to deal with because by the time he gets to them, they're going to pit. So Skarma, that early stint has really worked him a blinder in terms of how he fed himself back into the race when he took his pit stop. And yep, he's done a very, very good job there. Pedro coming under pressure now. El going through on the racing line. Now we'll need to be careful because there's a looming Matty on a fresher tyre. Through the Mickey Mouse chicane they go. So I think Matty now will come through. Pedro not using any energy, he's not going to overfight this. Here comes Matty down the inside, nice and simple DRS pass. And Pedro now can use the traffic. So let's see up front. Dale's on the back of Chubby Slug. How is our race leader Rob? He's emptying his tanks down a bit as well, so he's maybe starting to push on to box. Oh, we've got yellow flag, sector 3. It is a Ferrari, and it's going to be a safety car. Safety car is out. Oh, and Finnegan's just massively cut the pit lane. And by God, has Rob just got an absolute blinder. Rob Wills, after all that, and oh, poor Skarma. Skarma. Oh no, he shouldn't lose out. He's just going to lose out to Rob. I thought he was going to lose out a couple of positions, but he should be pretty safe because he's pretty close to these guys ahead. But the question is, if Skarma has another medium tyre, he was so good in the medium, does he go back to it? He gets to the end, he's already done 14 laps on the tyre. Does he take the pit stop? But then he'd maybe give up a lot of track position. It's probably not worth it. He just needs to see it out with the hards. He's in that unfortunate position where he's like the leader of the stint, the strategy, so you've got to protect track position. But if Skarma can show any of the form of the pace he had in that first stint, I think we'll be okay. It's going to be a close race between him and Rob, though. A very, very close race. Rob lost 4 seconds in that first stint, as well as coming through some cars. So the pace between the tyres is probably going to be about even. So Chubby Slug heads on into the pits. And I tell you who has got a blinder here. It's Pedro. So these guys will be helped out a lot. Onto the medium tyre they go. Oh, and has Pedro been double stacked here? Oh, he has, I think. So I will gain a couple. So I think only a couple of drivers we have. Rob Wells gaining from the safety car. Pedro gained a couple. I think Chubby Slug has done well out of that. And so Skarma did. Now we are on something juicy. Skarma is making a race of this. He's gave up a little bit of track position, but he knows how good he is on this medium tyre. He knows he's fast. So let's watch the man go to work. I foresee a big charge coming up from Mr. Paul. K-Pax went on to a soft compound tyre. 1 second, chat. So, don't think safety car's coming in this lap. We're going to have another lap. I'm just going to grab myself a little refreshment, chat. Well, we drift on round. So, I've got my fresh milk, fresh cup, and we are going to go back racing. Alwyn Evans, after his spin, he'll be quite thankful for the safety car. I tell you what, the soft tyre is going to be good for the first 6, but my, these guys, 12 laps. They're going to be asking 13 laps of the tyre. They're going to be severely struggling come the end of this race. So I think we'll get safety car in this lap, Rob. We'll get the heads up for that in just a second if it is. Any moment now. No call for in this lap then. So maybe going to go another. Oh wait, the timing beam's here, isn't it? No, definitely going another. Okay. Oh, not just decided to call it nice and late for Rob. So Rob becomes the de facto pace setter. Drops it down to a steady 70 mph. The pack will gaggle up, and then Rob has the free choice when to pull that trigger and releases back to green flag racing. And boy, are we in for a spicy one. I'll give you a quick look at what tyres people are on for the closing parts of the race. As Rob Wills, he's not away just yet, and he is gone now. So away we go, we're back to green flag racing. Rob Wills from L, from Lucola, Spaghetti Carbonana, Leon Evans P5, Chubby Slug P6, Dale 7, K-Pax 8, and Skarma down there in P9. Remember, Skarma was a race leader. He's looking to make a massive comeback on a tyre. He knows he's extremely fast on, and there is somebody already making hay. Who is that? Spaghetti Carbonana on his soft compound tyre. It's 6 lap pole, but by God, does he get that fired up quickly. And I think that was maybe just with how late the safety car gave the notice. People never quite get their tyres into the window, and the soft tyre will naturally find its feet better. But Rob Wills, L is in close pursuit, and he is on the hard compound tyre. Although L is absolutely eating the energy, although Rob is himself. So let's watch the gaps. We've got Skarma making his way through in K-Pax, and look at the straight line speed. And this Aston Martin, he's got 1 and 2 down the back straight. Skarma up to P7. Now he's got to tread very, very carefully. He's got a big kaggle of cars here, a lot of offsetting speed. There's a bit of checking up and bumping, but that's drivers just trying to navigate this part of the track. It's a little touch there in Chubby Slug, and what Paul needs to not do is pick up any damage at this delicate part of the race. So Chubby Slug, is he going to make a move? I don't think Skarma's going to get there, but he is full on the energy. Leon's trying to catch Spaghetti Carbonana, and Mataman's got to be careful. He gets the car slowed down. There's a little bit of contact. That's going to give Leon the better exit on the outside line, but Mataman does have the better tyre. They'll stay side by side as we head through the last kink, and I think Leon is going to hold that one off. Yes, he does, but now he's going for a move up the inside, and Spaghetti Carbonana, can he get that job done? Banana's going to try and keep on the inside. They go through the kink of 2. We've got Leon, Spaghetti, Chubby Slug and Skarma all jostling for position here through Sector 1. We're almost 3 cars abreast as we go through turn 3. Who's going to come out on top? We're still side by side. Leon gets the job done. Chubby Slug nets through Banana down to 6, and Skarma just playing it safe. He knows he has the pace, and there's somebody on. Skarma did get through, and Banana actually slips up the inside, so Skarma up to 6. And this midfield battle is tasty indeed. Further back, more side-by-side action happening here. Yes, we do. We've got Dale Souter, Banana, and K-Pax out now, all trying to get involved. K-Pax, I thought he was going to slip one down the inside there. And who's that? That Alpha Tauri there has made contact. The Haas has turned Pedro round. Finnegan collects Pedro. Both of them round, unless another safety car now. That will be that for them. Pedro losing out most of all there. He's been spun right round. So back up top, where is Skarma? He's making hay now. He's got no energy, but he has got the pace. Let's see. To leader, he is 4.4 seconds off the lead of the race. He has a look up the inside. He's got a couple of hard tyres in front of him, so P3 is there. P2 could be there. Just got to keep on moving up. Chased closely by Matoman. And that was a little bit of storm, and now the race will settle. As we settle into stand, we got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that was maybe Finnegan. Oh no, he's in the eye. Did he let Pedro through there? I think that was maybe a let through. So Shiv making the move and Michelando pulls out, DRS open. We've not seen him because of that early incident, but now the man from Wales is making moves. But Michelando still wants some of it. I'm going to go on board with Shiv. He'll be better on the brakes down the outside he goes. And can Shiv maybe pull himself through another couple of positions? And I tell you what, K-Pax and Car Banana are going to be in bad shape in a few laps time. That soft tyre does not go to the end, so there's 2 positions there for all the drivers behind. Oh, a little bit of contact here between K-Pax and Banana. Oh, and is that rain? It's started to rain. It's raining. Right, now things change, chat. The rain is here. Oh, and look at the overspeed of Alvin Evans down the inside. He goes and Banana's also trying to go down the inside. There's a small bit of contact. It's not time for the inters yet. It's only spitting, and look at this, K-Pax coming to get involved as well with K-Pax and Spaghetti Carbonara. Shiv's going to be in that outside line. He's going to go for it the long way against the Mercedes. He's going to try and muscle his way through the Mercedes. He'll hold it in the brakes. And look at that for some good driving between the 3. And Shiv on the outside line gets himself through the wily old fox, gets through, thinking the corner ahead, gets himself up to P11, and just Spaghetti Carbonara to get himself through. So Skarma 5.5 back. Chubby Slug all over the back of him, so a bit of racing going on here between these two. Chubby Slug goes through up to P4. Skarma looking at, he's so nice on the apex there, looking at a cutback. So as it starts to get slippy, sector 1 here is going to be really, really tricky. Well, not near intermediate tyres yet. Nowhere close, but that track will be greasing up. And it's something they're going to have to be aware of. As you see there, maybe not as deep as they thought. Rob continues on. On the exit of the corner, there still seemed like there was a good amount of traction. So let's go back to interval gaps. Oh. So where is the battling further back? Michelando and Spaghetti Carbonara. Oh, so K-Pax is in for the intermediate tyre. He's felt now is the time. So let's see, have we seen any spray yet? No. DRS still enabled. Yep, so while we've got DRS, that would say the track is in a condition still suitable for slick tyres. And here comes L on Lucalas, down the inside he goes on his hard compound tyre. Lucalas will be able to keep it there though, he's got better grip in the mediums. And he is going to do a job to defend this one out, and he does, he keeps the position. Some wily driving there, Skarma gets back through in Chubby Slug, he's up to P4. So let's check our race leader. Shiv picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Still managed to muscle himself back to the top 10 though. Can he close the distance on Arwins? That is a question we do not know just yet. And Chubby Slug and Skarma do it again. Skarma had a look up the inside. Matoman misses his braking a little bit. So it cannot be far away Tinters now. The guy really dropping off the pace. Let's have a look at K-Pax. Nah, see, I think they're overheating. The tyres. Yeah, they're like at 87 degrees. It's way too hot. So track's not ready. Not just yet, anyway. So let's see what Rob does. Down into the last corner he goes. Is he going to box for the intermediate tyres? That's the question. Not yet, no. So Rob feels the track's still good. In fact, all of our top 5 do. So still no DRS disabled. Not a hint of spray coming off the cars either, so doesn't look like it's too bad. So Nicolas not quite making it under the DRS. Skarma and Chubby Slug now in this battle for the podium. And the track is tricky, but I still don't think we're at the inters yet. Arbin and Mika, they're dropping off still. Not finding any time to Finnegan. Or it's pretty even, in fact. So I think you want to stare at the slicks as long as you can. And Chubby Slug now goes through on Nicolas up into the top 3 as Matoman and Skarma filters his way through at the same time. Nicolas struggling a little bit on the exit there of the final corner. But he can keep himself with this pack. Opportunities will come as long as you're in that DRS. You can fight back. Some 2 really strong DRS zones. The start finish straights. Well, it's okay if you get better exit than your opponent off the last corner, but otherwise it's pretty useless. Oh, Nicolas has a big moment there just to jump on board with him. Pedro into the pits. He's the next one to pull the trigger on the intermediate compound tyre. Oh, and there we see the braking zone really starting to be affected now. And of course these guys are on an older tyre. So, I think the inters are here. I think it's going to be this or the next lap, I would think. Rob's going to continue on. As is Chubby Slug, as is El and Skarma. See the hard tie, the meet the inter, it's not catching. It is still not catching at all. El doing a bit of drifting there. So, apologies there, chat. So, the conditions have been the factor in the last third of the race. 3 to go. Rob, gap 3.9 seconds. Chubby Slug under big pressure still. People still getting DRS behind, but the water is really starting to lie in the circuit now. And I tell you, if you get a peak or the rain lights are on, I think they need to box. I think the pit stop needs to come. Yep, Rob's in. So leader in for intermediate tyres. And Matoman's going to go. So Matoman is going to try and brave it. He is being a very bold boy here. But this is all or nothing now, as is El. Skarma into the pits. No, Skarma continues as well. So we have a battle now as El makes his way up the inside. I think Chubby Slug maybe just missed his braking now. And by God, is this race on. It's been such a tricky call for the drivers with 2 laps to go as well. If the rain really starts to lie, the guys on slicks are shot. It's over, like completely over. So it's just all about, can they see it through? It's 3 laps away. I don't think they can. Can they trigger an overcut though? That's the question. Oh no, Rob is catching dramatically in the inters. Rob has got this spot on. So, Rob is most definitely catching. This is will be the telltale sign. Is the intermediate providing more traction and grip through the corners? Oh, and yes it is. He's found nearly 4/10 of a second now. Yeah, so Rob is going to catch him. The question is the track going to worsen enough to make the inter tyre worth it? El and Chubby Slug doing a bit of battle still in the damp, tricky conditions. Chubby Slug's got it in that outside line. And are we going to see pit stops? With rain lights on, you would expect the pit stops to fall through. But they are choosing still to continue. What are we seeing here with the conditions tonight? It's so strange. See, Rob is catching, but he's not catching at a pace at the moment where in 2 laps he's going to be on the leaders. I think Pedro's at the moment in at the last corner. So how do these closing 2 laps play out, chat? Let's go back to the battle up front though. El and Chubby Slug. Chubby Slug now coming the wrong way round. We'll go on board with El as we see. And he will need to slot in behind. Chubby Slug. Oh, the understeer in the car. You can really see the car starting to be affected now by the conditions and the fact that these guys are on pretty old tyres. The question is, can they get through these closing laps? And Scum, of course, will pick up P2 in the end. So a good recovery considering. El thinks about it down the inside, but not this time. Rob Will's now 1.9 seconds behind Leon, and this is what I was saying. The inter tyre is in, but the conditions have not came enough to make it viable to get that overspeed over the closing 3 laps that they were hoping to catch the slicks. Rob, I think he was primarily banking on people following him in, but now we're on the last lap of the race. We're filtering through the first sector and Rob has only just come through the first corner. So unless there's a big change in the rain and the track gets super wet very quickly, I don't think he catches them. Finnegan out, there will be no safety car though, it's the final lap of the race. And I tell you what, Matoman has done an absolute blinder here from P16, the back of the grid. He has got the strategy absolutely spot on. And he is, by the looks of it, and in fact I think he will unless he makes a mistake, he's going to take the race victory. Rob Will's making his way through. Can he gain the 2 seconds? He might get Dale here. But Chubby Slug's coming down the back straight. He's opened the gap. He's got one more braking zone to find, and from the back of the grid, he is going to have played an absolute blinder. Big up to Skarma as well. He was left with a tricky call in the safety car. Mataman, of course, one of the ones that gained for Skarma to lose out how he did in the safety car and still get back, although it was through choice, is a very good job. But Mataman from the back, he comes through the last kink. He'll take the checker flag to see the win in Miami. El will get P2, but Skarma will recover third after L's on-track penalty. Rob gets back to P4 in the end. So I think he'll be reasonably happy that he managed to recover the points. It's still one position better than where he started. But a very, very tricky closing phase of the race to navigate for the drivers. I've not really seen that, and it made it very entertaining. So I will get, it'll just be Skarma and Chubby Slug in for a little chit chat. Let me add them. So let me get them added in, so I can see. So Rob was saying the track was very wet. Of course, we could see for the stream that the track was still reasonably dry. So yeah. So let's get them in for a chitty chat.
Fuck's sake.
Good evening, Paul.
You're right, Chris.
Good evening. And Mataman, I'll start with yourself. I'll come to you in a second, Paul, because you were left with some tough decisions, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Mataman, that was a bit fortunate, but the fortune wasn't all the factors there. You certainly had given you a lot of hassle. You just kind of were with each other for the most of the race, I think is fair to say. A really, really, really entertaining race from my side. I don't know how you felt in the last 7 laps of the race and that whole crossover situation and the track. Never really sure where it wanted to be. Talk us through that and your option to stay on what was a very bold call and a very slick circuit and still get the medium tyre home.
Interesting. That's what that call was. Obviously I was in party with Robin. He was talking about going in, and I thought, well, I might stay out just to see what the track would be like. And in my standpoint, I was able to do the throttle, like keep the throttle and keep the car sort of in line. And he was catching quite a bit towards the end, but I didn't think he had he had sort of like the laps or anything to try and catch up to the lead. But
yeah, so
he was very fortunate.
From my standpoint, when Rob pit, it was still 2 or 3 laps early. The rain came and then the track stalled where the medium and the inter was very even, or the slicks and the inters were so even for 4 laps, and the only reason they stayed even is because the slicks were still well able to harness the DRS. You still had that active. I think if the DRS get deactivated, the inter comes in much quicker, but I think that was what allowed used to hold that advantage.
Yeah, and also El surprised me. He done fair play to him on them hards. 17 laps old from what I've seen on the thing, but fair play to him for being able to stick with me because I didn't expect him to. Like with obviously the hard tyre being less grippy and the slick conditions.
Yeah.
Fair play
You could see both of you really start to struggle. There was a couple of moments in braking zones and wide runs, but I think that's always the nature of the beast when the conditions change in a race. You know, nobody's hitting their apexes straight away while they adjust because you're adjusting on your feet.
That's right, yeah. Well, my fingers really.
Well, you know what I mean. But you got to be
No.
happy there, Matt. Of course, a lot of
Oh yeah, I'm
fortune.
happy.
Safety car came at a nice time for you, and then, of course, a brass balls call at the end of the race just to see the slick tyres out proved to be the right call.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic with it. Really. I think it's my first win in months.
Yeah.
Finally. So I'm well happy with that.
So, good job today, Matt. Without a doubt, you'd have been my driver of the day. No questions. I know the safety car helped, but you were in battles for pretty much every other lap with just about 80% of the grid. So you didn't get that easy. You had to work for it. But we'll move on to the man of the hour. I feel a bit for you tonight, Paul, because you were very, very fast tonight. Safety car
The
comes
first stint
after
was
utter
nice.
control. But the safety car killed you. You had a tough choice to make. I, of course, don't know the rain's coming. I didn't have any idea of that.
Well,
Were
it
you
went
aware?
light. It went light and then to like 2 lines of rain rather than one, so it was coming. When the safety car come out, it pretty much summed up that it was going to come, but it didn't. It didn't ruin the track like it should have. It was very wet, and DRS stayed on for the entire race. It only turned off when right at the end there. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was all right.
I think, I think when you pit, you do the double stop, right? You essentially had to do a
Yeah,
double stop with the safety car. You just pit, safety car comes out, you know the rain's coming. You were that fast on the medium tyre. I even called it in stream at the time. It felt like a no-brainer to get yourself back onto that tyre
yeah,
and
yeah.
get through the pack. And by God, did you? You were absolutely ripping through the drivers in the early phase of that. After that safety car, you were making some tremendous moves. I think you got two guys in one straight.
Yeah, I was waiting. Well, I thought the rain was coming a bit harder, so I thought I need to make up as many positions now. But I'm glad I didn't put the soft on because that wouldn't have gone to the end, and the medium did in the end.
Yeah, and to recover to P2, Paul, considering after the safety car, I think you were like
I was
P10.
10th, 9 or
Yeah,
10, yeah.
I think all in all, not too bad. I know you would have wanted to win tonight, but that pace you put in the first stint, I think you were well in control of the race and you deserved to win today, but sometimes the luck goes
It was going to
against
be
us.
interesting, I think, because Rob wasn't exactly catching me, but I wasn't pulling away. It was sitting around 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. So I think when he got on the medium, it might have been a bit. When I had the hard on, it might have been a bit closer, but yeah, safety car messed it up pretty much, and I just had to deal with it. I'll take a
But
podium though. First
did
one
you
was
enjoy your
crazy.
race after the safety car? Because it did look an entertaining race to race in. I know it's maybe frustrating because you've lost the positions, but in terms of wheel combat, it looked very good.
Yeah, the first stint was all right, even though I had a little gap. I still had people pressuring me, but yeah, it was fun. It's fun. It's always fun getting past a few people towards the end of the race and making some good moves. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
So good job nevertheless, Paul. Not maybe
Thanks,
what you
mate.
wanted after the first stint, but for sure a heck of a recovery in the end off that safety car and another one of the brass balls men that held their tyres to the end.
Yeah, well, DRS stayed on. I think if that had flicked off, um, I mean, 3 laps is. I think the pit stop there is about 20 odd seconds. So I thought 3 laps, you got to gain 7-8 seconds a lap. It's not going to be easy, but DRS definitely helped us with at least 5 seconds there. So
Yeah,
I'll
I
take it.
agree. I think that was the key factor to the slick tyre working. The fact that the DRS stayed on for so long, because
Yeah,
if we were was looking at Inter tyres were gaining a tenth or two in the straights, but then because you were fighting in the DRS, you were gaining 3/10 down straight.
yeah, that's it.
And just it was balanced, and I think that's why they were even. But you made a damn good race. From my side, it was very entertaining. That's one of the best races I've spectated in a long time. If you watch back the stream, you'll see there was a couple of very 3 wide, 4 wide first sector moments. Drivers all getting through it. So
Yeah, there was.
it was some superb stuff from my end. It was a pleasure to do commentary on it again, and very well done to both of yous.
Yeah,
You
thank
would have
you
been a
to you for
close
staying
second in
back
the
and doing
driver of
comms
the
as
day.
well.
Nah, no problem. It was kind of worked out good in the end because Adam had to run an errand, so it would have busted comms up.
He always misses the best ones, doesn't
Standard.
he? Yeah, that's it.
Maybe we don't need to do. Just keep him away. Right, so good job again, Matt and Paul. A couple of stellar drives from both of you. It genuinely was. And it was a pleasure from my end. Adam says he would be back, but he wasn't because he sucks. And thank you, P0. They will be back next week, and I assume Adam will be live tomorrow with...
OTL?
Yeah, I'm just quickly going to check the check. Oh, it's Canada. Canada.
Oh,
Not great.
Hope it don't rain.
Scar my nose it. So from myself, from Mattoman and from Paul, it's been a very pleasurable evening, and I will see you very soon.